Hey guys, gonna talk a bit about the Star Wars Rebels Season 3 finale called 0 Hour. Full spoilers follow, so make sure you've seen the Season 3 finale and then keep watching or come back after you have watched it. It was a good finale. I can't say it was a great finale. You can't help but compare it to last year's finale and know that it couldn't match that. How can you match Ahsoka versus Vader and all that meant and almost a decade of build-up versus this? It's hard to match. I will say though, I was disappointed that Grand Admiral Thrawn didn't do something more monumental. They'd purposely gone for a slow burn with him all season, you know? He was about slowly analyzing and gaining more information, and I'm fine with that, but I did think you kind of have to pay that off with something happening in the finale that is just, he goes really far, and this is a huge blow to them. I understand in the grand scheme it was that they had to flee their headquarters, that he did win, right? They had to get out of there, but you knew that was going to happen. And plus the fact that we kind of know the future in the broad sense, the fact that they're even saying at the end they're heading to Yavin, it's like, well, of course they have to go to Yavin because that's where the Rebel Alliance's future lies. So I felt like it had to be something bigger than that. Did it have to be a major character dying? Not necessarily, but I feel like it had to be something with that sort of weight. And I did wonder when Kanan was having that big talk with Ezra early in the episode saying, I don't know if there's anything left for me to teach you. I thought, is this Kanan's goodbye speech? Is he gonna die? He didn't, and no one of significance did. And again, I'm not saying it, someone had to die, but I just felt like something else had to happen. There were some great moments though. I don't wanna act like this wasn't a good episode because it was a good episode. And there was a lot of cool big space battle in this episode. And I have to say they got a lot of mileage out of even moments like Commander Sato sacrificing himself. And him and Constantine were both side characters. We never really went deep into their psyche, but the fact that the two of them died, both representing the Rebel Alliance and the Empire in this sort of showdown, this face-to-face, ship-to-ship way, it actually worked really well. And it's one of those great moments in Star Wars where you take a character that's not that important, you're Admiral Piet, say, and you still kind of care about them, and there is still some weight when they die. And so I thought that was a great moment. Ezra going and getting Sabine's help, I kind of wish that wasn't shown in the previews, but it was still really cool to see, even though I kind of wish she'd maybe left earlier in the season, so she was gone longer. It still was awesome. I'm curious about her sort of status now going forward. Does she return to Mandalore with her people, or does she stick around with the Rebels? And then the stuff with Bendu, I mean, there was a concern I had that, is this going to be like they're sort of, they can just pull this card out. Bendu shows up and saves the day. He did and he didn't. I like that he was just this sort of vengeful god almost, and that, he was furious with that. He wanted everyone gone, the Rebels included. That was kind of Kanan's plan, push him so far that he would lash out at everyone, including the Empire, but also the Rebels. So that was great. While at the same time, Thrawn killing him, and I use that term in an ethereal sense because it was kind of shown that he went into the Force a la Obi-Wan, but still was kind of needed to take another sort of major Force player off the board, even though he's still kind of out there. But he doesn't show up in the original trilogy, obviously. So for now, maybe takes a little while, maybe, let's say, to get his physical body back. Why not? So yeah, there was a lot of things I liked here, and I liked that you did feel that, wow, this was tough for them, but I just thought that Thrawn needed to do one extra thing. Now, we saw how smart he was, and that was really cool. He had that battle planned out, and I do like that he would have won if it weren't for Constantine, right? They had that idea that it was one of his subordinates disobeying him, and that was the fatal flaw, but it still took a little bit of the weight of what Thrawn was doing away. I loved this episode for one thing, though, which was Agent Callus, and he's been a really cool character to see how he's changed his ways and that sort of slow change and helping the Rebels. And I wondered if, would he get out of this alive? He did, and I liked that he did. I felt that him getting out of there was really cool. Him and Kanan having that big moment where Kanan said, thank you for all you've done. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see where this character goes now that he's turned his back on the Empire, and will he become a full member of the Rebels next season? That should be cool to see. So overall, liked this finale. I just didn't love it quite as much as I wanted to for the Thrawn aspect. A really interesting character, but he still hasn't done that moment of impact on our main characters emotionally, I think, that maybe he needs to do. So we'll see where it goes next season, though, because he's still definitely in play. Those are my thoughts on the finale. What did you think? Let us know in the comments. And for plenty more on Star Wars Rebels and all things Star Wars, keep it here at IGN.